Oh hey, welcome to a quarantine edition of Bytesector. Today we're going to be taking a look at a laptop that is non-traditional. It doesn't run Mac OS, it doesn't run Linux, it doesn't run Windows. So what does it run? Why do you care about it? And what exactly is this puppy in front of me? Stay tuned after the break. So today we're going to be taking a look at Google's Pixelbook Go. It's one of their newer laptops. It's still listed as new on the Google Play Store, but frankly, it's been out for 6 months. It was announced in the October hardware event. It's not new anymore, especially given that it might be replaced come October 2020. So let's take a dive. Well, to start, the Pixelbook is a Chromebook, so it runs Chrome OS. That's the operating system. Like I said, not Windows, not Linux, and not Mac. What do you get with Chrome OS? Well, before we dive too deep into that, let's talk tech specs because, after all, it is a laptop, and I'm sure somebody has figured out how to install Linux on it. So, what do you get? Well, you can get between a Core M3 Intel processor, step up to an i5, or step right to the top for an i7. You can get between 8 and 16 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs to 256 gigs of storage, and if you go for the M3 or i5 versions of the laptop, you get a 47 watt hour battery. If you end up going for the i7 version, which comes with a 4K molecular display instead of the standard full HD display, then you'll get a 56 watt hour battery. That's pretty much it. If we're talking I/O, you get one Type-C port on that side, one Type-C port on this side, plus a genuine 3.5mm headphone jack, which is great for all of you who have been fighting against the trend of getting rid of it on cell phones. Let's talk build quality. Screen flex, it's not bad. Certainly not the best I've ever felt, but it's not close to the worst. It definitely comes with a premium feel. The whole surface on the inside comes with a nice, I call it a premium coating. I'm not sure what to call it. I think it's still plastic. Pretty sure actually, 99% sure, but it's got that feel of metal without being cold. On the outside, you get a matte finish. The bottom is rigid, full of ridges. Not sure what the purpose is. I'm pretty sure it's just aesthetic because frankly, if it's sitting on your lap, those tiny little ridges aren't going to stop it from sliding off. If you've got it on a desk, there is 2 strips of rubber, one at the front, one at the back to keep it solid. And like Apple's laptops, it's well balanced, so you can just lift the screen and the base stays flat. In fact, let's do it from the side so that you can see that. So, hopping over into the meat and potatoes, Chrome OS. It looks like Android. You have your familiar shortcut bar along the bottom. Let's call that a dock. If you swipe up, you get a list of all your apps. Let's call that the app drawer. So, at the top we've got search, and oh look, suggested applications based on your usage and what you do on the laptop. Very much like an Android experience. Very, very much. And lastly, swiping down a few times, in the bottom corner, we have our notification shade. But it's not a shade because it doesn't cover the whole screen, so let's call it a notification panel. In here we have the familiar toggles like you get in Android for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, notifications, casting, nightlight, all of that great stuff, and then our actual notifications. So, and you just swipe those away like you would on anything else. Tap, and it's gone. So, a very familiar experience. I want to take a quick minute to talk about setup, because you know what, like an Android phone, the setup was straightforward. And you enter your credentials, you join it to a Wi-Fi network so it has internet access, and it goes and pretty much does the rest and restores your settings based on your profile, blah, blah, blah. I enjoyed the experience. It was nothing new and it was very familiar. My problem was, when I set it up the very first time, I pulled it out of the box, I entered my credentials, joined it up to Wi-Fi, hit go, everything looked fine. And I'm just going to pull up the app drawer here. The problem began when I said, oh, let me open Photos. And I tapped on the Photos icon, and it opened up a Chrome browser, a Chrome tab, and went to photos.google.com, and I thought, well, that's strange. So I went to Docs, and it opened up a Chrome browser and a Chrome tab, and went to docs.google.com, and I thought, well, there are apps for this in Android. Why are there no apps for this on Chrome OS? And so I opened up the Play Store. That's right, the Play Store. And went and searched, found Google Photos, and hit install. And it installed. And I went to my app drawer again, and I noticed the original Photos icon now had a little Chrome icon in the bottom corner. So I scrolled up to the bottom of my app drawer, and you'll notice, if I scroll up, there's an icon here, and then there are more icons down here. And that's because these were installed after the original deployment. I don't know why they're not alphabetically sorted. So, scrolled up, went to this screen, and found the Photos icon. Tapped on it, it opened the app. Did the same for Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides, a whole bunch of different, Keep even, and they're all apps, and I thought, well, this is messed up. I shouldn't have to go install these apps from the Google Play Store on a product that not only runs a Google operating system, but is a Google product. So, anyways, long story short, I factory reset the Pixelbook Go, tried again. The second time, it installed all of the apps properly. And I'm not sure if that's because I had already installed them and my profile synced back up to the Google Cloud and it said, hey, you installed the Chrome OS version of Google Keep, so I'm going to download that and preload that for you. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because the Google Keep and the Photos and the Docs and the Sheets icons that I originally found open Chrome tabs all still existed. I just now had secondary icons for the actual apps. So, Google, if you're listening, preload the apps, get rid of the Chrome links. If I want to go to photos.google.com, I'm going to open Chrome. I'm not going to look for the Photos icon that opens the URL. Anyways, that's my beef with the OS and the setup. Other than that, setup was a breeze. So, taking a look at the physical interface, you'll notice two things. Where you'd normally find your Windows Start Menu key or your Mac Option key, you'll find a little Google Assistant key, and predictably, it opens up the Google Assistant on screen. Where you'd find the caps lock key, and this bugs me, you find a little dot on a key. And when you tap that dot, it brings up search. And if you want to then flip open your app drawer, you can. But Google, I don't know why we saw a need to get rid of the caps lock key to do that, when, I mean, all I have to do is swipe up. Anyways, maybe they just thought, hey, this is a fast way to search from anywhere in the OS. And you know what? Props to them for thinking that. But maybe that could have been a shortcut. Like on Mac OS, OS X, you hit the Mac key and the spacebar, it brings up Spotlight. I'm fine with that shortcut. Replacing the caps lock key, a key that has been on keyboards for probably more than 40 years, and I say that not having actually done the research on the 40-year mark, but I'm very confident 40 plus years. Why did we have to redesign that part of the keyboard? Anyways, other physical notes, speaker grills down the side. Again, it feels like drilled metal. It doesn't feel like plastic, so props on the build quality. The trackpad is really nice and big, very responsive. The clicks are perfect. Talking about the keyboard, I wish that the key travel was just a bit more. I find the key travel isn't quite enough, and while I can type on the keyboard, once in a while I hit the wrong key, or I don't press one hard enough, or it just feels wrong and it throws me off my rhythm and I have to stop, pause, and resume. Not ideal. So let's talk accessories. What comes in the box? Well, not much. You get a laptop, a box, a power brick, and a charge cable. That's it. So let's talk charger for a second, because this charging combo is by far my most favorite charging combo that Google has offered with a product yet. And let me explain why. First, as an Android user, a Pixel user, those short USB Type-C to Type-C cables that you've been bundling since the Pixel 2, maybe even the Pixel, but I didn't own a Pixel, they're too short, Google. I can't plug the phone into the wall and it barely reaches the top of my nightstand and the outlets behind the nightstand. So that's frustrating. This cable is 2 meters long. For you Americans, that's 6 feet. 6 feet. 2 meters. That's insane. This has helped me free my phone as well as my laptop from the confines of sitting close to an outlet on a wall. The brick. It's not round-edged. It's not small, narrow, short. It's a brick. It's a block. It's square. It's very angular. The prongs fold out and they fold away, and I love that. One Type-C port. It's a killer. It's the most beautiful charger Google has made to date, and I stand by that. So, who wants a Pixelbook Go? Who is it for? Well, if you look at tech specs, Core i7, 8th gen by the way, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of solid-state storage, Wi-Fi, 12-hour battery life. Geez, this sounds like a powerhouse of a laptop. Sign me up. But it runs Chrome OS, so I wouldn't call it a business laptop because that's not what it is. If your daily is home use, if you like browsing the web, looking at photos, Twitter, checking your email, taking, doing whatever, it's perfect. If you're a student and you need to take it and take notes all day in class, and do your homework on it, 12-hour battery life kills it. How much does this beauty cost? In Canada, at least, you're going to start at $879 for a crappy Core M3 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs SSD. Now that quickly gets out of control. $1,150 for a Core i5 with 8 gigs and 128 gigs of storage. You want to jump that up to 16 gigs of RAM, keep everything else the same. That jumps to $1,350. And if you want an i7, 16 gigs, 256 gigs of RAM, and the 4K molecular display, it's going to set you back $1,850. And I assure you folks, you can build a killer gaming desktop or even buy a really respectable gaming laptop for $1,850. So, as tested, this is the Core i5 with 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. That's enough. I can tell you day-to-day usage, you don't need anything more than that. Maybe a year, 2 years down the road with OS updates, you might find it lagging a bit. But these are full desktop grade, well, laptop grade processors you'd find in a Windows laptop running a lightweight Chrome OS. So I think there's room to grow. End of the day, verdict. Do you buy this laptop? Well, up to you. I recommend it from a technological standpoint. I think it's amazing. I think if there's one thing that earns it that you do not buy, it's the price. if the price was to be halved, if there was a 50% off sale, I would immediately tell you, run out and buy this laptop. Anyways, that's my verdict. You guys have a great day, and we will see you soon with another episode, another quarantine episode. Ciao. Thanks for watching today's video. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs down. Leave us a comment below letting us know what we can improve for next time. But if you did like it, give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell beside it so that you get notified the next time we post a video. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Have a great day, and we'll see you all next time.